Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the glove that Boruto keeps on his hand and why we need to have a discussion about Boruto finally joining Kawaki and getting the dominant eye of his otsutsuki. That's why in today's newest Naruto Explain video, I want to do something dangerous and I want to explain to you exactly why I strongly believe we need to discuss why Boruto should be getting Momoshiki's Rinnegan and why him not having the Rinnegan is a bigger problem that needs to be addressed in the narrative. And if it isn't, this is going to lead to a rather large plot hole if it isn't addressed by the story itself. So jumping right into it, the most obvious case in my opinion for why the Rinnegan is needed for Boruto is that while he himself doesn't technically need the power, he is already super cracked as it is. It's just a consistency issue that I sincerely feel needs to be given a proper answer by the narrative. So far, based on what we've seen, with the 3 compatible vessels for Otsutsuki clan members, they all have common threads that link them together, which is that they all, to varying degrees, gain the power boost that comes from the basic use of the Chroma Seal. They all, when using True Essence of Chroma, are able to tap into the combat knowledge and skill of their Otsutsuki. They all get the dojutsu of their otsutsuki to use in battle, but it's that last point that sticks out like a sore thumb if you've been paying attention. Boruto, Jigen, Kawaki, the 3 otsutsuki vessels, yet we've only seen 2 of them use their dominant dojutsu of their otsutsuki, have each gained Ishiki's kokugan dojutsu, the stronger eye of their otsutsuki, yet we've never seen Boruto use Momoshiki's Rinnegan, which is the stronger eye compared to the byakugan. Hell, just speaking of the byakugan, Boruto is the only vessel who has a byakugan, and even then, we've never seen him use the eye at any point. It has never been activated. The eye being manifested and the eye being activated there, they are 2 different things. When Momoshiki and Ishiki and Kaguya have each used the byakugan, it's all been the same thing that you see with the Hyuga clan. They have the veins pop out the side of their eyes. They look super creepy as the chakras flooding to their eyes. Boruto has a byakugan, but he's never used it, and we literally have no explanation for it. And as to why he hasn't been able to use the Rinnegan either, Boruto, being the genius that he is, should be in possession of more than enough aptitude to pick up on how to use the byakugan, or especially the Rinnegan, given who his master is. And even then, he has the true essence of Momoshiki, so he should be able to use the skills pretty quickly of the Rinnegan as fast as someone uses the skills they learn from Skillshare, which is the sponsor of today's video. This video is going to be brought to you by Skillshare, the largest online community for creators that I strongly recommend as someone who has been using Skillshare for years now. What makes Skillshare unique is that it has a lot of different classes for you to choose, from graphic design to music to photography and so much more. And best of all, the on-demand platform allows you to learn at your own pace regardless of your skill level, which when combined with the classes being taught by industry experts who are teaching the classes, it's never been easier to learn a new skill or hobby. The learning paths, they are curated, sequential class collections that help you master a specific skill that you're interested in. For example, even though I've been monetized on YouTube for 9 years now between both my channels, and I've got a partner manager, I still made a point to check out Marquise Brownlee's class on Skillshare called YouTube Success, Script, Shoot, and Edit with MKBHD, because even for as long as I've been doing this, I am well aware that there's still a lot that I can learn. The same with Sean Dalton's Photography Essentials, Understanding the Basics. The reason why I'm into that is one of the businesses that I'm thinking about starting away from YouTube has to deal with photography, because my mom used to have a wedding company and I saw how much the photographers were making, and I want to get in on that business. Regardless as to what it is that you're thinking about signing up for, summertime is the best time to pick up a new hobby, learn some new skills, and challenge yourself. Skillshare is designed by creators for creatives. This, in my opinion, is what makes it the best online learning community. The first 500 people to use my link in the description and my pinned comment will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare to get started today. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. A big part of why I do think that this needs to be addressed also is the inconsistency that we're seeing here that has not been explained yet. Why is it that Kawaki is able to use the kokugan and all of its powers, and so could Jigen, someone who wasn't even a perfect vessel, yet Boruto, someone who is a perfect vessel and someone who literally already had strong otsutsuki genetics via the Hyuga blood in his veins that he got from his mother, and being born of two parents who each gained access to chakra from both children of Kaguya. Naruto, who gained half of Hagoromo's chakra via the seal on his hand before it was taken back in Naruto chapter 691, which reminder, he didn't lose the seal when he fought Sasuke, it was already gone. You don't need the seal for 6-pass Sage Mode or 6-pass power. 3 different powers. And then you had Hinata, who gained Hamura's chakra in order to destroy the Tensegan energy vessel that was going to be used to destroy Earth. Boruto has all of that going for him, but he can't even use the basic powers of the byakugan in a fight, something that he stood a chance of awakening on his own just because he inherited the Kekkei Genkai. Though it does need to be said, it remains to be seen if he ever would have awakened that power, since having the Kekkei Genkai is no guarantee that you awaken the Kekkei Genkai power of your clan. Case in point, not every Uchiha awakens Sharingan, not every Hyuga awakens the Byakugan. So Boruto can't use either the Byakugan or the Rinnegan, but Kawaki, a kid who, until we learn otherwise, is the son of a washed up shinobi who used to be talented, but apparently came from no famous clan, and he had a mother who, as of right now, her identity has not been revealed. So for all we know, she could be a model's daughter, or she could be some random lady that Kawaki's dad met one day when getting drunk in a bar, or she could be an only Kunoichi's model. But somehow Kawaki doesn't just awaken the kokugan and immediately start using the power, but the guy is also evolving the powers of the eye by awakening more spokes in his eye at the end of Boruto Part 1 as it finishes. By the events of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, the guy, he has the full kokugan eye manifested. The exact same thing goes to Jigen. This guy literally had nothing special about him. He was an imperfect vessel who couldn't even contain using all of Ishiki's chakra, and when he used too much of it, his body, it was breaking apart. He was some random monk who was holding his prayer beads, looking around the temple, fighting those urges that a holy man isn't supposed to have. Then all of a sudden, this white small insect, barely bigger than a booger, is shown crawling towards him, instantaneously resizes, grabs him by the throat, chokes him out, turns himself sideways, and enters deep into Jigen's body and survives by eating Jigen's brain, merging himself with his body and implanting his karma seal onto Jigen as a safety measure. Despite all of that, Jigen was literally able to manifest 2 spokes of the Kokugan eye in each of his eyes and use the powers of Ishiki to the point he's flexing on Naruto and Sasuke. He's beating down Naruto's 1000 clones. He's knocking Sasuke near death with 2 full powered hits and beating Naruto so badly, someone with insane stamina levels, that he needed 2 full days to recover as a result of the beatdown he got, and he was still unconscious when he got unsealed a few hours after getting his ass whooped. So these 2 relative no-name losers can use their Otsutsuki's most powerful ability, but Boruto can't use either the Byakugan in a fight or even manifest the Rinnegan. It feels like Boruto's been cheated. While I am a proponent that with ongoing series, particularly monthly and quarterly manga, you have to sit back and you have to let the story cook for a while, because this isn't like binge watching a completed series or anything like that. You have to sit back and let the story cook, and in some cases, you ain't gonna get the answers for several years. Case in point, Al, we've been waiting over 10 years since Zoro showed up in One Piece with the scar on his eye, and we still don't have any answer in the manga if he's got some special eye or not. At least as of where I am as of my last review on the One Piece channel. But it's tedious storytelling, but eventually you get there. While I am content with this being the case with Boruto, content in the sense that I know there's a possibility, hey, we ain't gonna get the answers until later on. I do feel like I owe it to you guys as the audience to call it down the middle as it is and say this has potential to be a plot inconsistency, a legit one, since half the people who say that this is an inconsistency and this is an inconsistency with the writing, like say Sasuke being out of chakra, which is literally explained in universe and builds on things that are introduced in Naruto volumes 71, 72, and 73, with 73 being better known as Naruto Gaiden, the 7th Hokage, and the Scarlet Spring. This is one that is something that the narrative, it is never addressed, and I do think will be a mistake if the story never creates a scenario where the narrative addresses it. Let's take it a step further here. Let's play devil's advocate. Since Boruto showed back up in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex with a brand new design, one of the very first things I said about both Boruto and Sarda's designs is I could see what Ikimoto was going for with Sarda's design having a lot of symbolism to it. Very similar to how when Ikimoto said back in 2017, when he first designed Kawaki for Kishimoto to approve. The idea behind Kawaki's design was to blend aspects of the aesthetics of both Naruto and Sasuke's designs and their color schemes for the final design itself. Hence, Kawaki has blonde and black hair. Sarada had symbolism to her design as well. However, Boruto's, now it stuck out for multiple reasons. It stuck out because it wasn't just symbolic in design, but when you look at it, he's got like his headband on one part to remind people he's a Konoha shinobi. He's got the leaf symbols on his jacket. He's got the sunflower on the other part of his jacket, a nod to Himawari, but we also know the design itself was intentionally functional. Boruto's outfit, it is littered with objects he likely has placed flying Raijin markers on. None of those accessories are random. That brings me to the glove itself. Boruto only has one hand glove, and there isn't an answer as to why he suddenly started wearing a glove on his hand, and I think that this is very much something intentional. I'm not saying, oh, he's got the Rinnegan, but allow me to explain. I want you to think about it for a second. Boruto, he's on the run right now. Wouldn't it make sense for him to cover up the hand with the karma seal to make it harder to identify him? The glove's not on the hand with the karma seal. One would think so, and he was running away with Sasuke for a whole year. Sasuke's smart enough to know, hey, yeah, growing out your hair in a way that covers up that scar on your eye, hey, that might not be enough. So let's cover up that karma seal too so you don't stick out. Yet Boruto wasn't wearing a glove in the flashback for chapter 5. That's a detail I haven't seen people bring up enough. That, in my opinion, is why it's intentional. The whole outfit that he got afterwards, it changed. And everything about his outfit afterwards, it became highly functional. The outfit he wore when he was training with Sasuke was a bootleg Sasuke cosplay. This one, all the accessories, they serve a purpose. The only thing, in my opinion, solely based on the narrative and nothing else, that sincerely makes the most sense is that it's because he's got a Rinnegan on his palm. It would line up with the other Otsutsuki vessels having their Otsutsuki's dominant power in one eye at a bare minimum. Boruto having it on the other hand that doesn't have the karma seal, it makes the most sense, especially given that Boruto and Momoshiki, they're in uncharted territory. Boruto, on top of being 100% Otsutsuki, which there's precedent for that to be the case. People being 100% Otsutsuki. Multiple Otsutsuki have had vessels in the past that had 100% data, but it should be worth noting that we have never seen an Otsutsuki whose soul is directly attached to their vessel soul to a point that their consciousness, it bleeds over where they're switching back and forth like tag team partners in pro wrestling. Ishiki did not do that with Jigen. Ishiki was physically inside of Jigen's body, whereas Momoshiki, he is a soul attached to Boruto's soul. If that ends up being a byproduct, it makes more sense for the narrative that, hey, okay, he's got something special with his hand. However, as we are now with this not being addressed, even with the throwaway line, I think the story is making a huge mistake, and I would hope that someone on the editing for Shueisha that is assigned to the titles of V-Jump magazine has taken note of this, but that does remain to be seen. But for now, all we can do is wait for with bated breath, and while you're waiting for the answer, click here on the left for my newest anime explain video, or click here on the right for the newest Naruto explain video.